meditation, some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's get into the mentality. Let's get into the ability. Let's use our challenges to our advantage. So what type of challenges are you going through today? What types of places are you looking to go? Where are you focused? What are you focused into? How are you going to make it through your challenges? So a lot of us face off against things. We ask ourselves these questions. Is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? I ask myself this question every day. If it's not one of the three, why don't I want it? Because the thing is I don't want to allow mentality. I don't want to allow the space. I don't want to allow the vibration to be something that is not of me, that's not of mentality, of not of focus, not of manifestation. And I look at this on a daily, I look at this on a weekly, a monthly, a yearly. So let's go ahead and set a 60 minutes. Let's go. So what is it that you're focused into today? Like, what is it that you're asking yourself if you could achieve? What is it that, you when you do these types of things, when you put yourself in these types of places, when you going through these types of challenges, what is it? What are the tools? What are the things that you use? And a lot of us don't allow ourselves that place where we're using our challenges, where what we're facing off against is ourselves. And that's one of the places where we find that it's most important. We find that when you're facing off against you, when you're sitting down inside of yourself, when you're putting yourself where your mentality starts to open up, where your ability inside of you starts to be utilized, right? And a lot of us stop before that becomes possible. We stop before that becomes a mentality, before you start to have the ability to enable your mind. You have the ability to enable your energy inside of yourself. And so if you're looking to achieve things, if you're looking to put yourself in a place where your mentality starts to utilize you, you got to cut out the things that won't allow you to have that won't allow you to speak your mind, that won't allow you to truly be who you are on the inside. And one of those things is you got to make a ritual. You got to put yourself in a place where you're using the things that you have, where you're using the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis. And you can see those patterns in your everyday. You can actually see those patterns to what you write down and to how you achieve those types of things, how you're achieving your ability inside of yourself to become that type of person, how what you're going through and what challenges you're facing off against, if you're achieving them or not. And a lot of people don't seek out that kind of positivity in their life. They don't give themselves that kind of permission to be that kind of business owner of their own life, right? So how do we start becoming that? Are you going to create a game plan? Are you going to start to put in front of yourself the mentality that actually puts you in charge of your business? And it's not about it being private or not private. It's about you creating the business within yourself, creating the value within yourself, creating the ability to achieve those things that you want to achieve, and to put yourself in a place where your mentality gives you the permission to grow, right? And it's not going to happen on day one. It's not going to happen that you're going to pick up a pen and paper and you're going to have everything work out for you. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience with yourself, starting to understand your challenges, starting to understand that who you are on the inside is worth it. And you will face off against challenges. You will have things that will work for you. You will have things that will be working against you. And so what is it that you use? What is it that you put your mind to that gives you the ability to believe in yourself? How do you start to believe in you? How do you start to give yourself that kind of a place where you're using your mentality? It starts to truly come out. And see, each of us has that kind of a challenges inside of ourselves. We have that kind of a place where if we give ourselves the kind of permission just to go through our challenges, then the ability inside of ourselves starts to come out, the ability inside of who we are. And it's only when you're going to focus past those kinds of challenges to where the challenges that you're facing off against show up. It's when you're sitting in front of them and everything is falling apart, and you're being brought together within yourself, where your mentality starts to focus through those types of challenges. You see, each of us that have challenges also have the ability to make it through them. We have the ability to face off against them, but got to put the mind in the place where it starts to express it. Got to put the mind in the place where the ability inside of oneself is able to do so, where the ability to manifest comes from within you, yeah? And so who does that? Who gives themselves that space? Who puts themselves in a place where they start to ask the question, how do you utilize yourself? How do you start to utilize your challenges? And that's a question to start asking ourselves when we want to make it through our challenges, when we're facing off against multiple challenges, when what's going on inside doesn't have the ability to stop us. And so, when do you give yourself that place to use your gifts? When do you give yourself that place to use your mentality, your level of focus, your ability inside of yourself to focus past your challenges? And so, what kind of challenges have the ability to stop you today? Have you asked yourself that question? How do you face off against those types of things that are holding you back? How do you start to build up your mentality and start to build up your ability inside of you to where you're greater than your challenges? And you see, those types of challenges that are coming, those types of things that you're going through, those types of things that your mentality, your ability inside of you, your level of focus are asking you for, is if you can become the best in your professions, if you can become the best in your mentalities, if you can gain the energy, the ability inside of yourself to use what you have, use your focus to the point where you overcome your challenges. And so where do you seek that kind of mentality? Some of us seek it in music, some of us seek it in writing, some of us seek it in reading, some of us seek it in listening to motivational speakers. And what is it that they're doing that's any different than what you're doing? What is it that's bringing them to the top? What is it that's giving them the ability to achieve that level? What is it, that story? Are they willing to work to the point where they go past the point where they're not afraid to dive for what they want, for their ability to have that kind of mentality, to have that level of focus? And see, that's when you start to see that those things are moving out of their way. It's moving out of their way. It's allowing the universe to work in their lives. It's allowing the ability inside of their mentality to start to open up. I remember when I was working for Chrysler and I was selling cars, I remember that we didn't allow certain people to be around ourselves. And it wasn't because of anything but the mentality. You don't allow people to be around you that aren't going to bring you towards positivity, that aren't going to bring you closer to who you are on the inside. They're not going to bring you closer to who you want to become. See, it's up to you to want that. It's up to you to become that. It's up to you to put your mentality in a place to study you, to study your business, to make business moves in your life. You see, you are a company. Whoever joins you on your path, whoever joins you on your journey, they're joining you on your page. You are putting an investment, even if they are around you a little bit or a lot. When do we start to see from that ability inside of ourselves? When do we start to see from that level of investment? And see, that's why it's important to focus. That's why it's important to put focus as a foundation, because what you're focusing into, you get to keep. You hearing what I'm saying? If you focus into positivity, if you focus into building things on your own, if you're focused into putting them on paper and starting to make them happen, if you're focusing to that level, then that's what you get to keep. My friends, if you want your dreams to come true, if you want your dreams to become manifestations, if you want them to become utilized, then are you putting in the work to get there? Are you putting in the work to get to that point? Are you putting in the work to give yourself that kind of permission to be who you are on the inside? Or are you expecting results without putting the work in, yeah? Are you putting yourself in a place where your mentality starts to grow, where your ability inside of you starts to become a manifestation? Positive vibes only, okay?
Got you.
How you doing?
Good. So what's with the explain the readings? I'm interested.
For sure. So I've been doing meditation for nearly a decade. I started when I was 27. I'm 34. And yeah, I can definitely read energy. I can definitely do a couple of energy readings today. I guess there's a second person who want to get on here as well too. And
Don't do more than two, because they get trolls come up.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody's just got to be respectful of each other. We do have moderator on here, you know me. So basically, inside of our beings, we have energy, right? And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Robert Kiyosaki stated that emotion's nothing less than energy in motion. That's just a perfect example. So there's 7 energy fields that run in our human being. Each individual energy field's related to you. So there's parts of each person that dominate in their being. So like, for instance, you like to think a lot. However, you use your heart a lot too. So a lot of the energy that you face off against is about kind of more so trying to handle it. Not necessarily about somebody else, but about your own handling of the people that are around you. You know what I'm saying?
So we focus so much on other people, but we need to tap into ourselves.
Pretty much, yeah. So what's going on is basically, I'll give you a little bit of a insight here, so you can understand how like it is kind of important. Each individual energy field inside of you is a part of you. So if there's something going on in your life that's happening in your life, it can directly relate to one of these 7 energy fields that relate in your system. The red energy field has to do with the ability to stand your ground in all parts of your life. The orange energy has to deal with your human organ system. Like I'm on multiple networks. That's why it's got to stay with the positive vibes. Okay. I got YouTube going here. I got Facebook, Periscope, you know, all that stuff on. So when you're using when you're using your thought process, but you also are using your energy and your heart. A lot of the times those types of people feel like the world on the outside necessarily is the thing that's doing the crushing, because where the energy is being placed into the heart, and for say like for yourself, you feel it a lot, not just in your heart, but you also feel it where you're worrying your thought processes. You getting what I'm saying? So from that place there, you can actually look back at how to use that, and that's called an energy reading, because when you understand how the energy flows inside of yourself, you can start to use it to your advantage, and that's the key there. It's like reading a book. When you read a book, what's the point in reading the book? Getting the knowledge from behind the book, right? So it's not and knowledge, it's just it exists. It's not something that doesn't exist. It's not something that's bad to have it energy, or and honestly, I don't even believe in good or bad, because like science itself has proven that the only thing that exists is positive and negative forces in the universe. So necessarily using that in that sense is what it's about. That's what an energy reading does. So like, you really are sensitive in the heart into how you go about doing things, but you also use your thought process the most. So you don't want a whole bunch of people around you, because your nervous system isn't where you put a lot of your energy. Getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, so let me tell you something. I'm in like the hood right now, and I work out, I eat good, but I'm still in the dumps. You look healthy. You look healthier than me, and you're 4 years older than me. What do you do? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do in that situation? Like,
okay, all right. So let me go ahead and start to move you towards that mentality to where you can start using those kind of things for yourself. Is that fair?
yes.
Okay, so all right. So what you might not have seen is that about 8 years ago, I was married for about 8 years. Okay, and I ended up over a year ago with the person that I was with leaving me. Okay, so I know how it is to be sleeping in a vehicle and having to start over with everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and start breaking this down into how you can start taking your situation and start dominating your own situation. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. It doesn't matter if you graduated, didn't graduate school. Did you learn anything in school?
Yeah.
Okay, what skills did you learn in school?
Mostly social skills.
Did you learn to write?
Yeah.
Did you learn to read?
Yes.
Did you learn to study?
Yeah.
So those are the same type of skills that can pull you out of your situation.
Okay.
So, in other words, like, I mean, when you write everything down that's going on in your mind, then what happens is that you start to study you. You getting what I'm saying? And I don't mean this sucks or this is good. I mean, this is positive in my life and this is negative in my life. And when you put it in front of yourself and then you go back and you revisit it, you getting what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Then you can take those same exact things and turn them positive.
Okay.
So
write your problems down. Write what you're thinking about.
yeah, so
Flip it.
that's how you start to open yourself up to grow. Okay? So what I talk about on a daily basis, let me go ahead and show you what kept me alive when I was sleeping in my car. My wife had left me. I asked myself this question as I was sleeping in my car every single day. See this shirt right here? Is it motivation?
Meditation, inspiration.
Motivation, meditation, inspiration. So here I am sleeping in my car, delivering food in a van, and I'm inside the sauna, breaking through barriers, sitting inside the sauna, meditating. I got up to 5 hours of meditation before walking out, and it wasn't because of what's going on around me. It was what was going on inside me. Do you get what I'm saying? And so what goes on inside is self-knowledge, okay? But the thing is to get there, and that's what motivation is. So when other people like if for a minute I can reach in there and actually express that focus radiates motivation. Do you get what I'm saying? When you start to put the stuff in front of yourself and you start to sit down with you and you start to study it, you truly sit down inside of yourself, then that writing it down on a constant basis starts to teach you how to overcome your challenges. You getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that other people see as a reflection of motivation. So I wasn't necessarily asking myself, I was saying, hey look, the only things I want in front of myself is motivation, meditation, and inspiration. Now if it wasn't one of the three, I didn't want it. This means that when I was delivering food, this means that when I was filling up my shake bottles at McDonald's to go drive all day long to deliver food with 2 dogs in my car and washing my clothes in the 24-hour fitness bathroom. This means that when I was going through these kinds of challenges, the only things that I allowed to vibrate around me were what was going on inside. Do you get what I'm saying?
So, you're delivering food. You've had to deal with a customer that didn't tip.
See,
how did you get past that?
So let's go ahead and break that down too. See, you're part of a matrix. We all are. Every single person on the face of the planet is a part of this thing that continues you. It's like, imagine you start your journey with your first breath, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So anybody who comes in contact with you becomes a part of your story. So you get to either be held back and keep looking up the mountain and stop on the side of it, or you keep going on your path.
Okay.
So
it's on me.
Exactly. It's not somebody else that's going to pick you up. It's not somebody else that's going to do it for you. And the war, honestly, it isn't against somebody else. It's about you overcoming your challenges in a positive way. Like the 14,000 customers that I drove, the things that I did when I was in a place where everything was falling apart around me is why I'm able to be right here saying what I'm saying. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
And so what I'm telling you from the question that I've been asked there is, where is this? Right?
Right.
So here's what I would recommend to start doing. I would recommend that you okay, so one of those things that, like the one of those things that I do on a daily basis, and if you go back in my videos, I do shakes. I enjoy shakes. I do shakes all day long. Like, I eat probably about one meal a day and that's it. But I do meditation just about on a daily basis, and I listen to motivational speakers, because even though I feel like they're only selling a story, it's their level of focus that I'm seeking out inside of their story. Do you get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, like, for instance, when I worked for Chrysler, we wouldn't allow people to be around us to stop our mentality from being able to sell cars. And see, I was around people making about $300K a year. So what I'm saying is that what you want to achieve, you get to keep. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're not putting it down on paper in front of yourself, if you're not putting it into your mind in a certain way, if you're not on that grind to achieve the things that you want, do you deserve the results?
No.
So that's where it lays. And you can go back and watch my videos after videos after videos about talking about this, because I do it on a daily basis. I basically grind more than 300 days of videos I have. So what I'm saying is the skills that you used in school still apply. The problem is when people, what I've heard is one of these motivational speakers was talking about it, is when you have like a heart issue, like, right? So like you got like a heart issue, like a heart attack or something like that. All of a sudden all these people want to give you attention. But when you got an issue inside of yourself, nobody wants to be there for you, right? So that's what I'm saying. The war isn't versus somebody else. It's not about good or bad. And there's even biblical proof that proves it. And a lot of people that, because in the United, are you in the US?
New Mexico.
Okay. Well, a lot of the society has been built around Christianity. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But that same Christianity is what slaughters them. Think about what I'm saying.
The guilt.
So let me give you an example of what I mean by this. In the beginning, God divided the light from the dark. And then God saw that light was good. You getting what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So when do people see where light and dark was divided and start counting on positive and negative forces and start seeing Newton's third law, which made Oprah Winfrey rich? Right? So when do they actually see, like, Oprah Winfrey's mantra is Newton's third law: for each action there's an equal and opposite. So yet if we could sit down and study and see that if you study, you're going to bring the things you want in your direction. If you want to be healthy, are you cutting out the things that are not allowing it? Like for myself, I cut meat out of my diet completely. Do you get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is you get to keep your results. If you're focused into positivity, negativity moves out of the way and more positivity starts filling its space. But if you sit there and you in the universe, when it comes to test you, you don't put yourself in a place where your mentality is focused into positivity, then what do you get to keep?
Nothing.
Negativity, right? Nothing happened for you.
Yeah.
So how do you utilize that? See what I'm saying? So the way in which is to sit down and start to become a student in your life. And one of those places that people neglect the most is giving themselves time to even do that. They want to make a paycheck. They want to make other people's lives. They want other people to be a part of their company, right? So like each of us is a business, right? So like since the day you were born, you started your journey, and the last day of your breath, that's the last day of your journey here. Now there's a lot of discussion about all the other stuff, but what we know is that you started a life, you breathed your first breath, and that the day that you leave this planet, you're leaving this part of your journey, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So Do you want to dominate that part of your journey? And so that's what
So,
school's about.
like, I'm pretty happy with my life, but I want like you always want like a hot girl in your life, you know, and how do like Oprah talks about like and the secret manifestation and all that. What do you feel about that? Like, if I think, man, I want a wife, I want a rich wife, she's the best looking in the room and all that.
Okay.
It does me no good to not work on myself, right?
So let me go ahead and put it this way. Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple of traits on the face of the planet that are going to bring you closer to doing that for yourself, okay?
Okay.
So the first trait on the face of the planet, the most sexy trait on the face of the planet is focus.
Uh-huh.
So if you want other people to become attracted to you, focus to achieve yourself.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that, so the second trait, now I've shown you what the hardest, the most sexy trait on the face of the planet is, right?
Right.
Now let me go ahead and tell you what the hardest trait that brings you the most sexy trait on the face of the planet is. The second one is self-honesty. And this cuts like a knife, brother.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about the person who says, well, what, you can't say that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Because we always soften the blow, especially to ourselves, right?
Right. And so how are you going to start to study you unless you give yourself time to use the skills you already got? How are you going to find self-honesty so that you can focus on the things that are bringing you closer to the things that you deem positive in your life? Do you get what I'm saying now? Like, okay, a lot of people could be like, ooh, this is good for you. This is bad for you. But what about what you feel is positive in your life? What about the direction in which you want to go? What about finding the people that the universe wants to yield in your own direction? That's rich to me. To me, it's not about how much somebody has or doesn't have. I know in 7 years from now, when I'm sitting in front of hundreds of thousands of people, I know what's going to happen. I know that I'm going to have that. I've been working at this daily. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I created a full practice.
Thanks, man. I'm going to watch your replay. I want to watch some replays.
Now, but the last piece, the third piece that's most important is inspiration. And that is discipline. If you don't see yourself applying it, then you can't expect the results to come back in that way, right? So if you're not using your focus and your knowledge, then what is it that you're getting? What is it that you are becoming? What is it that you're manifesting? What is it that is actually coming out from within you? And so that is where meditation comes in. Comes in when you're sitting down inside of yourself, when you're studying you, when you're becoming who you are on the inside, where what you're looking for starts to happen, where what you're becoming is yourself, where what you're focusing through is your challenges. Because each of us have challenges, and it isn't versus somebody else to get through your challenges for you. It's how disciplined you are. It's the days, it's when the ball drops on you, do you pick it up? Do you put yourself in a place where the energy inside of yourself starts to flow? Where the ability inside of you starts to work its way out of you, yeah? And so as we work with that kind of a trait where we put ourselves in a place of discipline, truly put ourselves in a place where our focus and our knowledge starts to become applied, where the student in your life starts to want to spend time with the teacher inside of you, when that person inside of you starts to work its way out, when it starts to use your challenges to your advantage, when the universe starts to utilize you, when you start to understand your knowledge has a purpose, that you can free yourself from things like pains, like emotions, like the things that would stop other people. Are you focusing to that point where what you got going inside you have the ability to overcome? And you see, a lot of us, we stop before that becomes even possible because we don't put ourselves in a place where we're willing to be disciplined to be ourselves, yeah? We're willing to be who we are on the inside. We're willing to face off against our challenges. We're willing to manifest within who we are. And each of us faces off against that place to ask ourselves that type of question. And that's where we start to see where the momentum gets moving, where the action starts happening. Is this what you want in your life? Is this what you want to become? Is this who you want to become? Are these dreams starting to become possible? Are these dreams starting to happen for you? Are you starting to become disciplined? Are you starting to become who you are on the inside? Are you starting to face off against those types of things that only you can do, that only you can become? You know that you have gifts, you have blessings, you have things that only you can go through. And so we seek out things that are not us. We seek out people that are not us. Instead of use our focus and the knowledge inside of ourselves to find that person. Find that person inside of you and watch how things around you have the ability to evolve towards you. See, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about using your gifts. We're talking about using your being. We're talking about using your challenges. And each of us have them. Do we dominate them? Do we put them in a place to where they have the ability to work through us? Do we put ourselves in a place where what we're focusing through, we have the permission to become? And it's up to you to want it for you. It's up to you to become it within you. It's up to you to manifest that place inside of yourself where you want to be. If you want the results, if you want it, are you putting the time in? Are you putting the effort in? Are you putting the mentality in? Are you putting it down to where you believe in yourself, where your energy starts to flow beyond results? See, that's where we focus, my friends. It's what we're focusing on. It's what we're focusing to become. It's where our knowledge is becoming applied. It's where we're becoming centered within ourselves, where we're starting to dominate our mentalities. We're starting to become blessings instead of search for them in other places. We're starting to become available to our lives. We're starting to become available to our mentalities. We're starting to become available to our abilities to be who we are. Are you focusing to that level where that becomes a result? Are you focusing to that place where you are the gift in the universe that you want other people to be towards you? See, that's what I'm talking about, my friends. I'm talking about, where is your mind? What is it that you focus into? How is it that you focus? When do you focus? When do you apply your ability? Is it in your professions? Because I could tell you there's a lot of people who go to jobs just to hold the job. Do you go to a place that both you and the people that you're working with have the same kind of mentality? Do you put yourself in a place where what you're focusing on becomes a result, where other people become inspired because you came along? Do you give yourself that place inside of you to where you're centered to the point where you're focusing through your own challenges? You hearing what I'm saying? You hearing that it doesn't just start today? It starts when you decide to pick yourself up. You start to sit down inside of you, and the battle isn't versus somebody else. When you stop allowing it to be the people who put their fingers in front of you and tell you it's not possible to be you, that even with the handicaps you're going to work with it because all you got is yourself, because you know nothing less than you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you breathing the kind of energy that I'm talking about? The kind of place where results are traceable inside of you, that you get to keep them? Or are you letting other people take over your inspiration? Are they in control of where you're inspired? Are they in control of who you're going to become, where you're going to face off against your challenges? How do we focus through that kind of a stuff? How do we put ourselves on that kind of a page? This is what we start doing. We start getting inside. We start getting into that place inside of ourselves where we start to know ourselves. We start to become who we are on the inside. We start to find time for ourselves. We find time to make time for you to be who you are, to make time for you to believe in who you are inside, to be that person that you want other people to become attracted to, as the question was asked there. The person that you want to be is always going to be there. It doesn't change. You will always be who you are on the inside. There's nobody that could take that from you. It's up to you to allow yourself to be that person. It's up for you to allow the universe to work in your favor. It's up for you to become that kind of a place where things slow down around you and allow you to focus to the point where your knowledge opens up, where your emotions become overcome, where your challenges become your friends, where your ability inside of yourself to be who you are has a purpose. Because each of you got it. Each of you are it. And it's up to you to find it for yourself. It's up to you to become it within who you are. It's up to you to want to manifest within your being. Yeah? And each of us think that that's the place where we're looking to go. You're looking for your dreams to become possible. But are you becoming the applied version of your dreams? Are you wanting to achieve your being? Are you wanting to achieve your mentality? Are you wanting to achieve your ability inside of yourself to where it takes you? Or are you wanting somebody else to do it for you? This isn't something you want somebody else to do for you, my friends. We don't want to have our own battle fought by other people. We want to fight it for ourselves. We want to achieve it. We want to liberate ourselves. We want to become who we are on the inside and be truthful to ourselves. Are we focusing to that point? Are we giving ourselves that place? Are we giving ourselves that kind of mentality to where that's what it takes for you to be you? Or are you allowing somebody else that place, that space which is yours? That space which was designed for you, that allows those types of people to move out of the way, that allows the universe to use you, that allows the universe to use your mentality. It allows your ability inside of yourself to vibrate outwards. It allows that person that you are inside to become a reflection. And you see, even biblical, there's videos back that proved it, that we are viewed as a reflection. That biblically we are viewed as a reflection, but do you want to keep your results? Do you want to find a place where focus and knowledge become applied, where you have the ability to use your challenges to your advantage, where what you got going on, you have the ability to overcome? See, that's positive thinking, my friends. When your dreams become positive, when they start to come out, that's when you positively think. When things start working for you, and it's when they are not working for you and you're still positive that the ability to overcome your challenges show up. Because when you work through one equation and another, eventually there comes a day when you overcome your own challenges. And that is a place called discipline. That is a place called the ability to be you. That is a place where you start to believe in yourself and you start to believe that you have what it takes to be who you are on the inside. And it's not when you have everything going for you that that shows up. It isn't. It's when everything is working against you that that shows up. It's on that page where you start to go beyond what other people would think is possible. When you start to open your mind at that level, where your ability inside of yourself starts to open up, when you start to believe in the energy within yourself, the being within yourself. Like Robert Kiyosaki stated, emotion is nothing less than energy in motion. I'm talking about that energy inside of you. I'm talking about that being. I'm talking about that purpose. I'm talking about where do you trace your mentality to? Where do you trace your ability to? Where is it that when you focus through things, you are on that page with you? And you see, that is what it takes to be disciplined. Discipline is the most rigorous test of your life. Can you continue to do what you're doing? Can you put yourself in a place where you can overcome those kind of challenges where you're focusing, and if there's not a way, you're going to make a way. You hearing what I'm saying? If there isn't a way, you're going to make a way. If other people weren't able to do it, then it doesn't matter because I'm going to do it. Because this war isn't against other people. Okay? It's against your mind. It's against your ability to open up. Against your ability to grind at that level. And this is in the profession, and this is in the home, and this is in the relationships that you want to have. Are you becoming what you want other people to become for you? Are you achieving your dreams at that level? Are you finding that person inside of yourself? Are you finding that level of manifestation where the being inside has a place, where it has a purpose? You are all what you want to become. If you want to become something in your life, if you want to achieve something, are you putting in the footwork? We look at professional sports athletes that don't have perfect, leg drop and stuff like that, like basketball players, for instance. And we look at them and we see how much harder they had to work on discipline to achieve it. And that is the result that they got that profession. Okay? Are you doing that in your own professions? Are you putting yourself on a page where your grind goes beyond other people? Where, like Michael Phelps, one of my favorite motivations, faced off against depression. You hearing what I'm saying? One of the top athletes on the face of the planet faced off against depression. You getting what I'm saying? But did he stop himself there? Or did he get in the water and swim that extra lap? Did he sit back and say, poor me? No. No. In fact, he did the reverse. He took that and he put himself in a place of discipline where what was coming out was the results, okay? That the heat that was going on inside was greater than what was going on the outside. This is what I'm talking about. Are you applying at that level where you excel, to where you dominate within your mentality, where you dominate within your vibration, where you focus to the point where other people can see it for themselves, where they become it within who they are, where their manifestation is a result, okay? Where other people see how disciplined you are and they see you as an inspiration. Right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your challenges. I'm talking about your ability. I'm talking about your level of focus to the place where nobody else can go for you. And it's not going to be taught in those people that are telling you you're going to have to change. I'm going to tell you that much. It's not going to be taught in those people that are telling you that this is good and bad for you. It's going to be taught in what you decide is positive and negative, and how you learn, and where you spend your mentality, where you spend your ability. It's going to be taught there. Do you give yourself space in that kind of time, in that kind of place, where other people's lives become uplifted because you came along, because you were on your journey, because you were on your path, because you were achieving your dreams? And that is what I'm talking about, my friends. Finding a place where motivation is a part of you, where meditation is a part of you, where inspiration is a part of you. And you know what that part is? It's a reflection of how focused you are, how much knowledge you use, and how much you use your place of discipline. Are you disciplined to be yourself? Is what you're putting down becoming applied? Is what you're putting into your mentality becoming a part of you? Is the challenges that you're facing off against, are they becoming overcome? Because it requires you. It requires your mentality, it requires your ability, it requires your level of focus to the point where you achieve your dreams. And you can achieve your dreams. You can achieve your goals. You can achieve who you are on the inside. And the reflection, my friends, can radiate outwards. But you got to believe in you. You got to believe that you came along and that you were on your journey and that it's worth it. So that when other people see your level of discipline, they become uplifted too. We are on this path, and we all have our own journey. We all have our own purpose. We all have our own place to go within, and to become a reflection on the outside. Are you giving yourself that place? Are you giving yourself that kind of time even for that ability to come out of you? I just want to leave you guys with blessings. I want you to see that you are inspiration, that you have the technology inside of you to focus to that point where that vibration can come out, and that the blessings inside of you can radiate with a light. I want to leave you with that kind of blessing, that if you want something bad enough to die for it, if you want something bad enough to become it, if you want something bad enough to dream for it, then put your tools to use, put your mind in place, and give yourself the ability to become it. And chase after it in such a way that the things that aren't meant for you move out of the way, so that the things that do have the ability to open up your place of motivation, your place of meditation, and your place of inspiration. Because if it isn't one of the three, I don't want it. I just want to leave you all with that kind of a blessing. I'm willing to do at least one more energy reading here. I did see somebody hopped in there, but okay, it's all right. Anyways, one energy reading is a blessing in a day, uplifting a person, bringing them closer to themselves, letting them see that they can do it, that they can achieve it. If you want to achieve that, if you want to manifest that, if you want that thing to become attracted to you, whichever things you're seeking and that your mentality is put towards, put your mind in that place. Put your whole being in that place. Bruce Lee once said, when I throw a punch, I put my whole being into it. Are you putting your whole human being into your challenges? Are you embracing your challenges? Are you embracing your ability to be you? Are you embracing that you can be who you are on the inside? I just want to leave you with those kind of blessings. I want you to become that kind of technology. I want you to vibrate that kind of energy into the universe and watch the universe become your friend, as Einstein stated. Blessings to all. Blessings, 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 and namaste.